whispering, laughter, and screaming which had plagued my nightmares was so loud in my ears, I felt as though my eardrums would burst and begin bleeding.
There it goes. Oh yeah.
I let out the shrillest.
Chillin. Fucking more than halfway there.
I let out the shrillest, most high-pitched scream I ever had in my life. My arms stretched. My arms stretched. My arms stretched. I kept crying. I let out the oh god. I let out the shrillest, most high-pitched scream I ever had in my life. My arms stretched out and reaching for the door to the hallway. So he's like a full Scooby-Doo.
He is literally doing the the Fred Flintstone yabba dabba doo and like running in place and dead sprinting off.
Yeah, that was kind
If
of
Nathan
weird.
at this point ate an 8-foot tall sub in one bite, I would not be surprised. I'm gonna ask you something. Do you think in the story, do you think there is going to be a Scooby Snack-esque item that gives him courage to stand his ground? Because isn't that what the whole thing they do with Scooby-Doo is they basically like they lace
one Scooby
snacks and that gives him
yeah. It's like I'm not going in there. Would you do it for 2 Scooby snacks? Yeah. So
what about 2? Okay.
Like Scoob. I think you're right, but I don't think it will be an item. It'll be like an emotional thing. Like you'll remember
it
like
might
the captain.
It might literally be a dog treat. I don't know.
That'd be great. Okay. My arm stretched out and reached for the door of the hallway. I slammed into it with all my might. Bounced off, crashing back onto my ass on the floor. What the hell? I stumbled to my feet, running for the door and slamming into it again. And just like the first time, it didn't budge at all. I screamed out, ramming it a third time. But the metal refused to give. It was locked. I froze, my body beginning to violently shake as the voice reached me. A voice I knew well. A voice which had called to me through the door last night, along with Diana and Will. I slowly turned to look behind me. All the shadowy figures stood less than 10 feet away from me. The whispering, laughter, and screaming had stopped, allowing the speaker to be heard. One of the shadows took the first step forward, and then it spoke again.
It's time for you to join us.
I turned and began hammering on the doors. The captain's word echoed in my ears, sheer terror fueling my screams.
Somebody open the fucking door!
I began to cry. This is it. These are the last moments of your life, all because you screwed up. You're dead. My mind began to shut down, trying in some physical reaction to spare me the horror that was about to happen to me. I snapped back to reality. That's the dude. Okay. Alright, I'll give you one. But the third time is making me think about Eminem in the middle of the ghost story.
The main influences for the ghost ship
That works.
8 Mile.
That'll do.
I snapped back to reality as the voice came from the other side of the door. For a moment, I thought I'd finally snapped like Wyatt had. Then the voice came again.
Knight, are you in there?
It's Vinny, a mind screamed at me. I began furiously pounding on the door again. Seeing out of the corner of my eye, the figures began to sweep towards me.
Vinny, unlock the door for God's sake.
That'll work.
I heard the sound of
That
the
looks
hand
fine.
cover of the lock. Shot a glance over my shoulder and screamed again as I saw the figures less than a foot away from me. Now in my head it's like a Oni plays animation of like The door wrenched open and I was suddenly falling forwards, crashing to the floor and feeling pain to see abrasive carpet tore at my hands and elbows. For a moment I was unable to think, the realization that I'd been saved causing my brain to short circuit. So the horror of realizing where Vinny's
How did my pants get all the way up there?
Flipped around, my eyes wide as I screamed at my friend.
Vinny, get away from the door!
But it was too late. The only way I can
We'll just
describe
go
what
like
happened in
this.
those next moments is that it happened exactly like the scene in the 1999 remake of House on Haunted Hill. The one where Chris Kattan's character opens the basement door to let the others out, and snatched and dragged the evil mass inside. So I would have Benny. Kind of split-second look at the horror on his face as he saw the figures reaching out to grab it. The next, he was gone. Yanked inside the theater, the door slamming shut behind him. I screamed helplessly, reaching out a hand as if I could pull him back through the door with sheer will. But nothing.
Benny!
The ship became deathly silent again for a moment. But only for a moment. The sound of racing feet suddenly sprang up from behind me. I spun around, beginning to frantically crab walk backwards as my mind screamed at me that the figures were now coming for me. Instead, I felt a wave of shock as Andrew and Spencer flew around the corner, terrified looks in their eyes.
Looking good.
Spencer screamed at me, reaching out a hand and almost tearing my arm out of my socket as he wrenched me to my feet. Run! I didn't question him, I just ran. I ran after the two as the ominous, terrifying sounds of whispering, laughing, and screaming began filtering down from the hallway they emerged from. It scared me almost more than anything in how pissed it sounded. More than when they caught us trying to sabotage the engines. We sprinted for the stairs, taking them down two at a time, and only able to think about staying a step ahead of our pursuers. I don't know how long we ran, only that I was only able to keep going from the sheer amount of adrenaline that kept filling me. That's
See, I probably get that in one go.
To theater, to fate I can only pray was coming. We headed for the only place we knew, the cabin.
Oh, that'll work.
Inside, shut it, locked it, and proceeded to pile as much furniture in the room against it, trying to make what was likely a futile barricade, but one nonetheless. It was the only thing we could think to do. When we finished, I turned to the two men.
What the fuck happened?
Demanded. For a moment, neither of them said anything. Andrew spoke. His voice
I forgot the wheels.
We got to the observation lounge, found a shit ton of alcohol at the bar, and started making Molotovs. We were halfway down when the voice came. The voice we heard the stairs that day. We turned, and we found ourselves staring at him. Who's him?
Oppressed.
Him. The captain of the ship. He was dressed in an old captain's outfit. He wagged a finger at us and said it wasn't worth trying. That all we'd do is make them do it to us. What they did to Wyatt. So we lit and threw a bottle at him. At the floor.
Spencer spoke up.
Nate, it did nothing. It hit the floor and lit up for a second, and then it was as if it reversed. The flame disappeared.
That'll work.
And then he said he was angry. His eyes turned black, and we ran.
Looked down at the floor, unable to speak anymore. There was silence in the room for a while.
What happened to Vinny?
Andrew finally asked. My eyes flashed up again. I felt the heat of rage burn in my stomach. I wanted to scream at him, strike him like he'd done to me. But I held it back as I saw the look in his eyes. He was broken. So I simply answered.
He didn't make it.
My words, I saw both men's shoulders slump.
They're not getting out of here alive, are we?
Some choked out. Took a deep breath and spoke. He was calm and authoritative.
We're getting out of here tomorrow. We're going to plan.
Ah,
And tomorrow,
I missed a whole arm.
this damn ship. We're gonna die trying.
Got my hands out of frame too. This sucks.
But I didn't have to. And so, as the sun began to set again on the horizon, we planned.
Oh, one less hand to draw slash trace, the better. Because there's no detail for me to actually see.
But another still burned with the fire and hatred of 1,000 suns. Whoa, 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 whoa. That's where did that come from? If it hadn't been for their harebrained idea, everything that happened today wouldn't have. It was your idea. Didn't you make the... Okay. If Andrew hadn't punched me, I wouldn't have stormed off. If he hadn't punched me, I wouldn't have stormed off. Unable to think straight. I would have gotten to that theater when he would still be alive.
Okay, where's the actual edge?
Yeah, I hate Nathan. He's so annoying. But as much as it kills me inside to say, I'm as much to blame as they are. No, Nathan, you are more to blame. There's a crumb. There is a freckle.
Yeah, here's your crumb, peasant. Did I tell you the other guy was crying earlier?
Crumb of accountability. But they cried. That's the more important factor. I should have been more level-headed. I shouldn't have let my emotions get the best of me. And part of me thinks I should have just let the figures take me. That would have been best for everyone. Instead of him ending up as a sacrificial alternative for me. Vinny, I'm so sorry. out. I watch the moon rise in the sky and glimmer off the waves. It's all I feel like I mentally can do now. But I know I have to pull myself together before dawn. Want to have any chance to escape off the Queen Elizabeth alive. There's no choice but for it to be tomorrow, because as I sit here typing this, another program was jammed under the cabin door, flying under our barricade. I clicked on my flashlight and saw that someone had written in black ink at the bottom, "For Nathan only." And I flipped it open. I know two things. First is that the date on this one doesn't say 2023 like the last one. The date says Monday, June 25th, 1956. Second, it's the first notice at the top of the left page. 2 days until arrival in New York City. If you have not already bought your travel papers in the purser's office, please do it no later than 4 p.m. tomorrow evening. Thank you. I honestly don't know if the words that Diana told me are true or not. About the past ever dying, simply moving to a different dimension when it changes, or if the world stays stuck forever in one time period, endlessly repeating over and over for eternity. But I honestly don't want to know. The idea of such a world horrifies me almost worse than everything we've been through. But I think if she's right and we don't escape tomorrow, New York City will arrive in won't be ours. So I'm going to try and rest. The music's beginning again from the lounge. Not a big band song this time, but a slow love ballad. Something my grandfather used to sing to my grandmother. Earth Angel by the Penguins. As much as I dread the nightmares that are going to come, seeing Benny be taken, in my rest. Eat as much of it as I can get. If we're going to carry out our plan, dump all the lifeboats off the starboard side of the ship, then leap off the stern, far enough away from the propellers where we won't be sucked in, and swim for them, hopefully make it back to land. I'm not going to ask you guys for advice this time. This is the one time I don't think you can help us. I can never thank you enough, all of you. Helped us, kept us going when we didn't have any clue what to do. You've given us the hope to keep going, tiny connection to the world, sanity, and everything good. You're all wonderful people, and I'm indebted to you for life. Now it's the part we have to do on our own. But if we don't make it, thank you for help giving us a fighting chance, at least. I do ask you one thing, though, please. Wish us luck.
Alright, final time.
Alright, final part. It's finally over. As I sit here typing these words out on the laptop with the ocean spray splashing my face, I almost can't believe it. The last few days have felt like nothing more than one long continuous nightmare that I can never wake from. That's what I imagine it must be like for someone in a coma, plugged into sleep. But it's over. The nightmare's over. Before I tell you what happened, let me just say one thing to all of you reading this, all of you who did all you could to help me and give me advice. I know I've said it so many times now that I probably sound like a broken record. I need to say it one final time. Thank you. Don't forget any of you for everything you did for me, and if I could ever return the favor, I will.
That looks so weird.
That being said, it's time. Time to tell you what happened. When the three of us woke up, it was still dark.
I should have just drew the damn wrist brace. I was working around it. This is awkward.
Nervous but determined glances as we packed the things we thought we needed into a single bag, including all the food and water we had left. As I shoved the final things in, Andrew came up beside me.
Just gonna have to picture what this would look like.
Nate, I'm so sorry about yesterday. I read the note and looked up at the man's somber face. Still felt the angry heat in me, but I pushed it down and simply nodded at him. Now isn't the time to hold a grudge, regardless of whether it was deserved or not. I took the pen and wrote a message back. Just focus on getting out of here, nothing else matters. He read it then nodded, seeming a bit relieved. I cast one final look at the program, which had been shoved under the door last night. It lay on the room's writing desk, the declaration of reaching port staring up at me like a tombstone. Freedom or death, I thought. One of them happens today. Steeling myself, I motioned to our barricade.
Why does that keep happening? God, I hope my screen isn't going out.
Another items away until the door was clear. Took a deep breath, feeling a mixture of fear and anticipation begin rising.
That would suck,
Then
dude.
reached out and took the doorknob in my hand. I looked up, locking my eyes with Andrew and Spencer. Slowly nodded at me. Here we go. I turned the knob, pulling the door open. In silence, we crept down the hallway. Looked as deserted as always. Though the shoes still sat next to cabin doors, I became aware of one difference from yesterday, though. Something that made the fear and uneasiness increase. The ship was no longer silent. The intercom had been turned on again sometime during the night. As I listened, I realized the first ever song that had played when we powered the ship up was filtering out from the speakers. It belonged to me. I shivered slightly, but listening to the music strengthened my resolve. Yeah, see about belonging to you. Making sure the bag over my shoulder didn't make any sound, we entered the landing. The first thing I noticed was that a sign had been set up next to the floor's concierge desk. Stopped for a second to read it. Horse racing sign up. Next to it was an open ledger, inside which many people had signed their names, along with their cabin numbers. My eyes flickered down the list, seeing many names that I didn't recognize. Ones of people who had passed from this world decades ago or longer. Then I froze. It felt like someone had dumped frigid seawater down my back. My eyes read and reread the last 3 names on the sign-up list. Bill's name, Captain's name, and Benny's. Wait a minute, that means that Wyatt isn't trapped, right? Wyatt and Kitty?
Yeah, maybe.
That means that it's, yeah, okay, so we're back to your plane, Hunter, throwing ourselves into the ship propeller. It works. I closed my eyes and turned away from the ledger, feeling as though my emotions were about to overwhelm.
Oh my god, I spilled kombucha on my fucking leg. I'll never recover.
Shattered a piece of my soul. Especially because I knew there was nothing I could do for them. Oh no. Someone patted me on the shoulder.
I forgot the damn wheels. And trucks.
Standing beside me. He wore a grim expression on his face and looked from me to the ledger. Having seen the same horrific side I had. For a moment, I did nothing. Then I nodded at him, turning to follow him and Andrew up the stairs. The lifeboats were hooked up on the promenade.
That makes the wheel look all fucking crooked.
Plan was to hide the bag.
Doesn't really matter.
The ship behind a few of the giant cleats used for mooring. Then ready all the lifeboats on the starboard side of the ship's trough. Normally they would slowly be lowered from the davits via steel cables, but I had noted there was sort of quick disconnect switch, which would allow the small boat to simply free fall in the water. All of us knew damn well, the moment the ship's inhabitants realized what we were doing, they would send everything they had after us to stop us. And that meant the second we launched the last of the lifeboats, we would have quite literally run for our lives to the stern, snatching up the supplies before leaping overboard. From there, it was simply a matter of making it to one of the lifeboats, climbing inside and rowing like mad away. The idea conjured up an image from an old 80s movie I'd seen in a battle-possessed ship of it turning to run down its escaping prey. It was replaced by the horrific sight of the Queen Elizabeth coming about to do the same to us. Pray to God that doesn't decide to do that.
Oh, shite.
Shaking the thought and image from my mind, we reached the top stairs of the promenade deck. Looking around. The music continued to play, the song changing to Mr. Sandman by the Chardettes.
That'll work.
Aside from that, though, the ship was silent in the gloom, which meant that they hadn't caught onto our plan yet. And that gave us more of a fighting chance.
So close.
A split-second glance at the captain's bloodstain, then turned towards the opposite direction. Doing this for you.
It's pretty fucking smooth.
All of you. Come on. Whispered. First words any of us had uttered that day. Motioning to them, I knelt down into a craft and slowly began moving down the corridor.
I can finally see that edge.
As we reached a corner, a sign hanging overhead pointed in the direction which showed the way to the outer deck. Something filtered out from down the hall in the other direction. In the direction of the theater. The sound of laughter. Not eerie, sinister laughter, but the genuine, infectious laughter of people who have been bowled over by something hilarious. Even still, the sound sent chill after chill down my back. They're watching a movie, I realized. For a moment, I wondered if our lost crewmates were sitting beside them, watching. I shook my head. Knock it off, Nate. I jerked my head, putting my finger to my lips to reach the door outside. Feeling my entire body tense up, I reached out, grabbing the handle and slowly pulling it down. It opened, and smelled the ocean immediately rushing into my nostrils in the hall. Moving quickly, we stepped outside and closed the door behind us. Andrew easing the door shut as quietly as he could.
Straighten that out.
He finally spoke, his whisper almost torn away by the whipping wind. three of us descended a few sets of stairs until we reached the stern deck. Thankfully, it seemed as deserted as the rest of the ship. Moving quickly, we scuttled over and set down the bag. Step one was complete. As we slowly began to back away, the hairs on the back of my neck straight up froze as the shiver, which came with the sensation of being watched pass over me. My heart began to beat hard and fast in my chest. Swallowing, I slowly turned and looked at the mass of decks over our heads, expecting to see a shadowy figure staring down at me. It was there.
What'd you see?
Andrew hissed at me.
It's almost too many frames. It looks too smooth. Ironically, that's what I wanted.
Their faces paled slightly at my words, but they nodded.
Come on, let's get back upstairs. We need to prime the quick release on the lifeboats. Then do one final check to make sure they're not near us. Then we do it.
So the color began to come back to their faces. The fearful looks melting back into the determined ones they had until now. I shot a look off the side of the ship. The sun was beginning to raise itself over the horizon, the orange glow giving way to yellow glare as it looked to be pulling itself out of the sea. Turning back, I jerked my head forwards.
Let's go.
We made our way back up to the promenade deck and began readying our potential escape vessels to drop. It was extremely, almost painfully slow going, especially trying to be quiet. Some of the hinges had formed patches of rust, making the davits hard to swing out and the levers even harder to raise. But eventually, every single lifeboat on the starboard side of the Queen Elizabeth dangled high above the water, which moved by below. The three of us stopped for a moment to wipe our brows, and we allowed ourselves a small smile at our accomplishment. We might actually make it out of this. We might actually pull this off. Thoughts in a surge of hope, almost giddiness, flow through me. When I get back home, I'm going to literally kneel down and kiss the ground beneath my feet and never set a foot on or in the ocean again. Now came the final task, making sure that the coast was clear and that we hadn't been spotted and swarmed. None of us had discussed this portion of the plan yet, mostly due to the fact of what it entailed. One of us had to sneak back inside the ship and give a last look, signal to the others to begin releasing the lifeboats. One of us wanted the less than envious task. I didn't blame the others for not volunteering, but after seeing that neither of them were going to step forward, I sighed.
Alright, I'll do it.
Simultaneous looks of guilt and relief entered the other men's eyes, and after a moment in which I saw them inwardly fight with themselves, they nodded. I began to turn away when Spencer spoke.
Hey, Nate.
I looked back, seeing the barely disguised fear on his face. Not fear for him, for me.
Yeah?
I asked. I took a deep breath and answered.
Stay safe, man. Please?
A small bit of gratitude of the gesture flooded me, and I nodded at him.
Just be ready for my signal.
With that, I opened the door and slipped back inside. Tension filled every fiber and sinew of muscle in my body as I crept forwards, hearing the pounding of my heart inside my eardrums as sweat began trickling down my face. Everything seemed the same. Music still played over the speakers and the ship still remained silent. I didn't hear the laughter anymore, but that could just be because whatever film they were watching wasn't in the middle of a funny scene right now. At least, I hoped. I took another few steps towards the T-junction ahead, straining my ears for any abnormal sound. Still it remained quiet, but they really don't know what we're up to. Keeping my breathing as quiet and shallow as possible, I finally reached the T-junction, taking a single deep breath before stepping out into the middle of it.
That should work, right?
Nothing moved in the stillness. Unbelievable. I turned and gave the two faces in the door's portal a thumbs up, then crossed my arms and made a slicing motion. I was then burst into a lady.
That's gonna be a rough hand. Let's see.
Nice try, Nathan.
I have to use my experience of drawing hands will come in handy.
My feet rooting themselves to the floor. Every ounce of hope and happiness I had was sucked away from me like a loved one in the grip of a tsunami, replaced by the mixture of horror, fear, and dread.
Oh, fuck.
My breathing became ragged, and I felt tears begin to spill from my eyes. Slowly, I turned.
Whatever, it's one frame.
Will stood there, looking as alive and human as he had the last time I'd seen him, next to the pool. He cocked his head, slowly giving it a shake, and a sad, pitying smile played over his lips.
It was a valiant effort, but you
jerked his head towards the door leading outside to the last hope of my salvation.
Yikes.
Especially getting those two bird
That's not how that works.
Second voice spoke up to my right.
But the game's over now, darling.
My head swiveled to see that Diana now stood between me and the exit. And she wasn't alone. Looked like at least a dozen men, women, and children stood beside and behind her, all wearing clothing from the mid-20th century. They all wore amused smiles on their faces, their eyes fixated on me. Behind them, I could hear the dull thunk of the lifeboats being released.
My dear boy, Nathan.
The biggest chill yet ran up my spine, and I slowly turned around to find 3 of the 4 hallways packed with people. Hundreds, no thousands, stretched away and out of sight. Wearing not only old clothing, but crew uniforms as well. They're all here. Then my eyes fixated on the man who'd spoken. Spoken with the voice I'd heard through the radio that second day, welcoming me aboard. He was dressed in a captain's uniform, white cap sitting atop his head. I knew instantly
Make up a hand here.
Andrew and Spencer had seen. I tried setting on fire and then running from Captain Queen Elizabeth. He smiled, an ear-to-ear smile that reminded me of the Cheshire Cat in Alice in Wonderland. Only this grin wasn't going to be followed with raising any philosophical points or trying to cheer me up. This grin held a wicked hunger. It made me feel as though I were staring at the devil himself. Then 2 figures stepped out behind him. 2 figures made blood drain from my face. The captain spoke again.
I think you know what you have to do now, everyone.
And I finally wrenched my mouth open and screamed. Why? Why would you?
He's scared.
I know, he's scared. He's so scary. Scream was all the air in my lungs as I watched him, Vinny, and the captain,
Hell yeah.
my captain, and all of them melt to the shadowy figures that had stalked and pursued us from the day we'd stepped aboard. I didn't wait for them to make a move, turned and ran. I ran in the only direction that was available to me, back down the hallway that led to the lounge and the stairs. Sparing a glance behind me, I screamed again as what I can only describe as a maelstrom flew after me. The maddening whispers, screams and laughs emanating from them melting together to what I can only assume is what hell itself sounds like. Running faster than I ever had in my life, I reached the landing and made a dash for the stairs. But I'd only taken a few steps down when I heard even more of the infernal noise rising up from down below. I peered over the banister and down his face before the stairwell, and I felt a new surge of terror as I saw even more swirling figures surging up the stairs.
Shit!
I yelled, turning and sprinting back up the stairs. I emerged back onto the landing just as the figures, which had originally started chasing me, entered. Black, soot-like arms reached out to snatch me, and I ducked, managing to dodge them with less than an inch to spare. I ran towards the open doors to the lounge, my momentary thoughts of running for the observation room squashed, as I heard yet still more whispers coming from around the corner of the hallway to it. I had no other choice aside from turning around and letting them take me, and that was not happening. I burst into the lounge, almost tripping over one of the chairs that still lay on its side and racing forward the crew hallway we first entered the ship from. As I made it to the center of the room, I could see it, the door hanging slightly open. I have to make it. It's my only way to escape. A momentary surge of hope filled me as I reached it, keeping it open. And it died as a shadowy hand thrust out from the darkened companion way, trying to snatch me and pull me in.
That looks so fucked up.
Almost falling as I turned to run the other way. Panic and fear that was slowly
Maybe it's the
driving
camera
me
warp.
as I made it to the middle of the room and skidded to a stop. I was completely surrounded. Spun around in a circle, feeling the strongest wave of horror burst forth as I saw the shadowy figures had made a circle around me. There was nowhere left for me to go. I began to shake uncontrollably as I watched them slowly close the circle more. Tears began to fall from my eyes as the grim reality of my situation slammed into me. There's nowhere for me to run anymore. Nowhere for me to go. I'm not getting out of this. I'm gonna die here. I just hope Spencer and Andrew managed to make it off. Then, one more thought. God, please don't let it hurt. Close my eyes. Nate! My eyes shot open, flicking over the shoulders of the shadowy figures as they stopped and turned back to look. And Andrew and Spencer, who had dashed to the doorway of the lounge, panicked looks on their faces. Their eyes found mine, and I saw their faces go pale, and they saw my situation. But then, to my horror, some of the figures turned and began to move towards them. No, I began screaming.
Hey, I'm here! You wanted me? Come take me! Leave them alone!
Figures turned back to me, and I heard the whispers morph until the only
Yikes,
sound
that
I
wheel
could
looks
hear
so
was the
janky.
laughter.
That's
When I heard
better.
Andrew scream at me.
Nate, look out!
I looked up to see him pointing his finger. Behind me, he spun around, catching a glimpse of something rocketing towards me. With terrified realization, I recognized it was one of the giant lamps that had been set up in the four corners of the lounge. And at that speed, the huge marble and glass behemoth was traveling. I would be killed instantly if it hit me. It was what was meant to kill me. I didn't think there wasn't time to. Simply turned and dove to the floor. The carpet slammed into my face as I felt the monstrosity whiz less than a foot over my head. Seconds later, I heard it slam into the opposite wall with a thunderous crash. For a moment, I could do nothing but lay there. The shock of not being dead, all I could feel. Then I got to my feet. Andrew and Spitz's faces were horrified expressions at how close I'd come to death, and they could do nothing but stare at me. And as I did, I realized something. Something that sent a bolt of hope through me. Some figures were still moving towards the two men. Quite a few of them fell. Enough that they made a mistake and left a narrow
This had a curve in it.
circle. I ran. Instantly, the figures realized their error and attempted to plug the hole in their line. But they were just a moment too slow as I managed to sprint between them, feeling the tips of their fingers brush the collar of my jacket. A new sound rose from them as I flew out of their grasp, one that spurred me to move faster. A single, unanimous scream of rage. Rage at having me dead to rights and then letting me slip out of their grasp. As I broke free, I shot another look up towards the others. I've been ready to yell at them to run, to head for the stern of the ship, but I saw I didn't need to. They were already bolted for the exit.
It's gonna be one straight line.
This time once hope. I crashed into the corner as I saw them ripping open the exit door. Sheer adrenaline powering.
I just need the ends to meet.
I raced to catch up to them. Come on, you're so close. Move. I spared a look behind me.
Yeah,
Fear
come
adding more fuel to
Ah,
my escape as I saw the
there we go.
soldiers spill around the corner I just come from.
Too bad no one saw that.
I slammed into the door,
It's beautiful.
yanking on the handle as it flew open. The sun momentarily blinded my eyes. It slammed into the outer wall with a crash, and as I caught sight of Andrew and Spencer racing down the stairs, they shot a terrified look back at the sound. I was too focused on staying ahead of the horde to say anything. The only sound I made being the labored breathing as I took the stairs down two at a time. The stern section came into view, and I raced down the final set of stairs, and I saw Andrew snatching up the supply box.
Ooh.
Screams of anger and desperation behind me now filled the air, drowning out the cry at the goals overhead. I saw my two crewmates take two bounding steps, jumping and pushing off the stern railing with their feet, and they disappeared out of sight. A moment later, I jumped as well. Frigid cold water took my breath away as it enveloped me. For a moment, I thrashed in the water, then my head broke the surface. I sputtered out seawater and looked around. The lifeboat. I saw that their plan had worked. At least half a dozen of the small boats had successfully survived their fall and floated away from the ship. I began swimming for them as hard as I could, seeing the others do the same. Behind me came the biggest scream yet. I spared a glance over my shoulder to see Queen Elizabeth steaming away from us. For whatever reason, they couldn't pursue us. The sight slammed the reality home. We made it free. Moments later, we reached the closest one and hauled ourselves on. A few moments, we did nothing but lay there, gasping for air as the sun rose higher in the sky. The warmth that radiated down felt like heaven. Slowly, I heard Spencer begin to chuckle triumphantly. Andrew joined in a moment later. Finally, so did I. All we were able to do, mentally and emotionally, cried from what we'd experienced. You know what? I'm sorry, but I can't lie. Not after all. I know that's what you wanted, though, wasn't it? You wanted to read about how the three of us managed to beat the odds, managed to escape the nightmare ship, and floated somewhere in the Atlantic that was going to be all right. Am I right? Well, I'm afraid I'm going to have to burst that bubble. I can't imagine you sitting there now, all of you reading this. Wait, what? You'll scream with the expression on your faces. You lied at the start. But did I? I said at the start.
Shit, I'm gonna stretch my back real quick.
I said what I felt was a nightmare. I said what I felt was a nightmare was finally over. I never said I escaped, though. They took it in his mind. Fuck off. Yeah. The truth is, everything I just told you actually happened. Until the point where I turned to see the giant lamp flying towards me. I never dove out of the way, didn't have time to. Slammed into me with force at 747. I still remember it, flying across the room, or being crushed into the wall. Truth be told, it was so quick that I didn't even feel anything. The suffer that makes you feel better. I actually kind of want Nathan to suffer because he's so insufferable. I also didn't lie about standing up with the horrified looks on Andrew and Spencer's faces. They did indeed have horrified looks, and they did look back terrified as I slammed up the door to chase after them. Because I was rushing after them to tell them how wrong we'd been, how wrong we'd all been. I realized that as soon as I looked down at myself and seeing the shadows clinging to my body, they were right. Will, Diana, the captain, they were all right about it being beautiful. About the past not dying, yeah, the reality, all of it. There truly was never anything to fear. Because I feel so happy. I never have to worry about that.
I mess my hair up like
I
that.
never have to worry about things changing.
I need to get it cut again.
Whether I wanted to or not.
You get a professional to cut this
To tell you
shit.
the truth, I feel so silly for being afraid this whole time. If I'd known the truth, I never would have run from them. I would have let them take me. I didn't lie about them escaping either. Andrew and Spence, I mean. They really did leap off the stern of the ship into the water and swim to a lifeboat.
Hey, what happened in this damn story?
I could see them trying. Others did the same. Behind me came the biggest scream yet. I scared to glance over my shoulder to see this Queen Elizabeth steaming away from us. For whatever reason, it couldn't pursue us. Sight slammed the reality home to me.
You don't
We
need
made
it
it
there.
free. Moments later, we reached the closest one and hauled ourselves on board. For a few moments, we could do nothing but lay there, gasping for air as the sun rose higher in the sky. The warmth that radiated down felt like heaven.
Blurry hand. Alright.
We began to chuckle triumphantly. Andrew joined in a moment later. Finally, so did I. That's all we were able to do, so mentally and emotionally fried from what we'd experienced. You know what? I'm sorry, but I can't lie to you. Not after all you did for me. I know that's what you wanted though, wasn't it? You wanted to read about how the three of us managed to beat the odds, managed to escape the nightmare ship, and are floating somewhere in the Atlantic, that we're going to be alright, am I right? I'm afraid I'm going to have to burst that bubble. I can't imagine you sitting there now, all of you reading this. Wait, what? You'll scream, a shocked expression on your faces. You lied at the start. But did I? I said at the start that it was finally over. I said what I felt was a nightmare was finally over. I never said I escaped, though. You only took it to mean as much. Fuck off. Yeah. The truth is, everything I just told you actually happened. Until the point where I turned to see the giant lamp fly towards me. I never dove out of the way, didn't have time to. Slammed into me with force at 747.
Where's my thumb?
I can still remember it. We were flying across the room, or being crushed.
Is that my thumb?
Truth be told, it was so quick that I didn't even feel anything. Didn't suffer. It makes you feel better. I actually kind of want Nathan to suffer because he's so insufferable. I also didn't lie about standing up to the horrified looks on Andrew and Spencer's faces. They did indeed have horrified looks, and they did look back terrified as I slammed open the door to chase after them. Because I was rushing after
See what it looks like with the rest.
How wrong we'd all been. I realized that as soon as I stood up, kicked out at myself and seeing the shadows clinging to my body, they were right. Will, Diana, the captain, they were all right about it being beautiful. About the past not dying, yeah, the reality, all of it. There truly was never anything to fear. Because I feel so happy. I never have to worry about death again, about growing old. I never have to worry about things changing, about the world moving on, or whether I wanted to or not. To tell you the truth, I feel so silly for being afraid this whole time. If I'd known the truth, I never would have run from them. I would have let them take me. I didn't lie about them escaping either. Andrew and Spence, I mean. They really did leap off the stern of the ship into the water and swim to a lifeboat. I can see them now, actually. I could see them trying to row away. As I lay on the sun lounge on the promenade deck with others, the laptop I left in our cabin in my lap. Diana and Will are smiling and laughing together as they share a drink on my left. Vinny and the captain are lounging on my right. My heart warms as I see them shoot me smiles, almost as warm as the beating summer sun. But I can't help feeling sad for Andrew and Spence. They're never going to be able to experience this, just like Wyatt and Kenny won't. I even asked the captain of the Queen Elizabeth if they could return, if I could try and convince them to come back to us, but he said because they tried to burn the ship down, it wouldn't be possible. As much as that sucks, I could see his point. But I can't help but feel a little bad for them. Seeing their little lifeboat get farther and farther away as the storm rolls in to swallow them up, I hope they don't suffer too much. so close to arriving in New York City. I'm so excited. When I look over the railing towards the bow, I can see the first glimpse of it on the horizon. And it looks so amazing, seeing it as it is.
Okay, what's going on here?
Without any of the ugly modern buildings ruining it.
Okay.
Diana told us that she's going to show us around the city, that she's going to take us to her home in Los Angeles. We were going to go see Elvis perform. I can't wait.
Wait, what is that?
After the traditional horse race and party After the horse race and party tonight, of course, which brings me to something I wanted to tell you about.
How does that work?
You see, Diana also told me that when newcomers
So my sleeve should end there.
to do something, and they just contribute to help them.
That's my forearm.
Leave New York, heading back out for open sea. She'll cruise between here over to England
What is
and
that?
back through the Atlantic, where we first came across her. Crossing from this world to ours, to yours.
Oh, the sleeve must be folded up under.
At the floating hotel her sister ship became.
Yeah, we just won't draw that.
Because after enough time, 4 of us
Eh,
will stop
fuck
being
it.
new faces to everyone.
See what it looks like.
Stop being new faces to us. It gets ever so lonely not seeing any new faces. So I'd like to do something for you. Before I finally lose the signal the computer has back to you. Before we fully cross over. The entire reason I'm posting this last update. Remember at the start when I said, if I could ever return the favor for all you've done, for all the advice, if I could do anything in return for you all being such kind-hearted people, I would. Well, there is. I'd like to extend you all an invitation. If you're able, charter a boat and sail for the Flemish Cap, or for the route the ship used to take into the world, across the Atlantic. Look for the dark and storm clouds and steer a course for them. You'll be battered about a great deal, unfortunately. Won't be pleasant, but you'll eventually see the great ship appear on the horizon. Steer a course for come on board. We wait to welcome you with open arms. We're always looking for new people to join us.
And that finishes off our story of my crew and I are stuck aboard an abandoned ship.
This looks like a tiny little arm. Little arm. Hee hee.
Welcome back to Creepcast. Today we are reading the story. Is it Azaleas? Azaleas?
Azaleas, I would say.
Azaleas. Cookhouse is a family restaurant, but please don't bring your family. AKA, this is a CC's
Got on the stomach
Pizza,
with
this
growling.
is a Buffalo Wild Wings. This is a 54th Street Grill. And I'm very excited.
Hold on. CC's Pizza, you don't bring your family?
No,
I thought the whole point of that was...
No. Well,
it's like the little
no,
pizza.
well,
when I was a
it's
kid,
meant
there
to
was a CC's near your house, and I loved it.
It's a family restaurant. Please don't bring
There's a little arcade corner in the back.
Yeah. No. It's a family restaurant. Please don't bring your family there.
Why? What's your problem with CC's?
Because it's an evil place. It's a tempting evil place, and I just don't care for it.
Did something happen to you in the CC's?
I don't want to go into my CC's debacle. Not going to. Maybe another time. But this is written by Royal.
It's AP Royal. It's like his initials.
AP Royal.
Or you just say Afroil. Aproil, sure. Aproil. So, Aproil has his own website. He seems to be a very prolific author on boards like No Sleep and stuff like that. Has a bunch of stories. And Aproil has also been picked up recently by Velix Books, which Velix has been pretty cool.
Yeah, we've read many Velix published books, and we've it's people that we've worked with to be able to read some of these stories. So really happy that he's with a cool publishing company like that.
Yeah, they seem like a cool company. They seem like very in the know about cross promotion for like YouTubers and like authors making stories and stuff. So they're chill. So it's cool that AP Royal has got with Velix Books, and it looks like he has a book called The Kaleidoscope coming out a bunch of stories across No Sleep. The story itself seems pretty highly rated. So I'm excited. And also, the title is just enticing in itself.
Yeah, evil family restaurant. You know, is this going to turn into something more like if, you know, the Glenmont retro thing where Metro where it starts off with, Dionysus House, whatever, where someone just walks into a restaurant and gets their head blown off? Or is it going to turn into like a, Five Nights at Freddy kind of meme? You know, it has like a weird, it could go either way, and I'm excited to see.
But does your brain just take all the stories we read and it like lays the titles out randomly and you just like grab one at moments and stuff?
Is Dionysus House not the one where it begins with dude getting shot?
Yeah, it is, but you started with the Glenmont Metro.
Well, because, I thought it was that one at first, but no, I quickly caught myself, because that's the kind of bear trap my mind is. It's how fucking ironclad it is, right?
It's a bear trap with an 8-second delay timer.
No, it's actually wild.
And then the bear's like 20 feet down the trail, and then it's like, did you hear that? Because it like shut up on nothing.
Quarter of a millisecond before your heel even touches the metal activation lever on the bear trap. It fucking grabs you. That's the steel bear trap that my mind is.
That caught the Dionysus House incorrectly because it originally caught the Glenmont Metro.
Okay.
Well, actually, see, it saw the heel coming and it said, "Oh, hey, I remember."
Maybe I should have drawn in that
and it switched it up.
corner there.
I think that it was like
I think I might actually do that.
Like a prey, you know, like a predator to a prey, and it sees the kill right there. It doesn't
start
matter, dude.
there.
I don't have to fucking justify my brain to you. All right. All I know is that, as always, be sure to support the author, and as well, check us out on audio platforms.
Where's the angle on this thing?
Apple Podcast, Spotify. Go there right now. Give us a 5-star rating. Fucking listen to our show there, dude. It helps. All right. Maybe AP Royal. Maybe listen to this on Spotify, dude. If you're watching this right now, consider hopping your happy ass over to Spotify and listen to it there.
Are you talking to the author right now?
Yeah. And that's the
kind of.
And that's the that's the bear trap coming up. You gotta watch out.
Oh. So you're already mad at him? Like,
well, I'm not mad. I'm just saying, man. It's a suggestion. It's a polite suggestion.
So now you're claiming that you're so quick-witted that you're near psychic with your knowing.
Well, I didn't want to have to go out and
Okay, that curves there.
That psychic ability can also be wrong at points.
Well, see, it's never wrong.
So in other words, you're just guessing. You're just guessing.
Redeemed.
No, that British poll was. The more I think about that, the more the British thing doesn't make sense, because the whole point was like, oh, this one person's British, but because you made everyone British, it ruined that part of the story.
Well, I found redemption with them. That's the fucking premonition, dude. I told you. Even I didn't. See, that's the thing about the bear trap, dude.
So you see
Let me
stuff
finish.
coming.
The bear trap, sometimes I can't even see through the fucking fog of my own power. Because I was like, is this going British? There's something about this that makes it British. And then sure enough, we're on the fucking Queen Elizabeth liner there, dude.
So hold on. So you can't see specifically how it applies. You can just see details.
Well, not all the time. Sometimes the power is just so hidden in the fogs of my mind of these bear traps that I myself step into the bear trap as well.
You step into the bear trap so you can tell what you're thinking? You can tell what you're going to do?
Yeah, with this power, Isaiah, you don't understand the complexities of how this goes.
Okay, so here's my point. If you can just pull random stuff and you don't necessarily know how to play, it's like you got British last time because you're super bear trap. For today's story, are you getting anything? Feel anything?
Let me think. I think that it's probably going to be, I would say, an American, but I'm going to say that we're probably going to spend the majority of our time talking about like a restaurant, probably some kind of, family.
These are inferences.
The what?
These are inferences. These are all things you're pulling from the title.
No. See, this is the premonition. I think that even we're going to sit there and we're going to have a point where I'm just going to randomly think if there's going to be somebody who's like, sorry, ma'am, that's not a problem. And for how many? And they're like, 4, please.
One straight
Scrolling
line.
down.
No. It was confirmed. She was scheduled for tomorrow at 7 p.m. These are just things that are kind of coming to my mind. Her voice had reduced me to a teenager again. Visions of her watering her flowers and walking her dog occupied my mind for the rest of the evening.
Okay,
wow,
alright.
That was powerful. That was actually powerful how that came to be. Let's just dive in! Alright, I don't have to prove myself.
Okay. I want to take a quick moment to tell you about today's sponsor, AG1.
Forgot to draw that
For
part.
those who are here from my channel, you'll know that AG1 is your daily drinkable dose of important vitamins and minerals, providing you with the brain, body, and gut health you need to thrive. AG1 helps provide the natural energy that I need to get through my day. Because trust me, I need
I've been tracing the wrong part the whole time.
And as opposed to something like caffeine that inevitably leads to a crash, AG1 is natural, lasting energy that lasts the whole day. And instead of being a bunch of different pills and multivitamins I have to take every morning, it's instead just one drink made.
Okay, let's watch this.
All you need is 8 to 12 ounces of water and a spoonful of AG1 and you're good to go. Plus, AG1 has key nutrients to help stabilize your mood, things like B vitamins or phytonutrient blend, the kind of thing I need when putting up with this podcast. So if you're ready to start your day with an AG1 boost and feel the difference for yourself, then there's never been a better time to get in on this offer.
Very cool.
Right now, if you head to the link in the description at drinkag1.com/creepcast or scan the QR code, you will be able to get $20 off your first order of AG1. But not only that, you'll also receive a free welcome kit with things like a shaker bottle, a few days of AG1 in their convenient travel packs, and a dropper of vitamin D3 and K2 to get even more of the nutrients you need. Again, that's scan the QR code or head to drinkag1.com/creepcast to get in on this incredible offer today. Thank you to AG1 for sponsoring the show. It means the most. We are now back to the episode.
Azalea's Cookout. How can I help you?
Is that how you think that the...
I know, this is our narrator talk. So whatever voice you come up with is going to be the narrator for the rest of the story.
Well, is it a girl or a guy?
I don't know. It's a waiter. Normally they don't specify in these stories. Whatever you want.
Well, waiter is a man and a waitress is a woman, right?
Typically.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure.
To work.
Go through and, give another Captain Price, kind of like, Azalea's Cookhouse, how can I help you? And then it's like, I'm a 16-year-old girl from Minnesota. And I'm like,
I think if that happens,
and see, the Bear Trap's not catching that. Bear Trap's not catching that, so I don't know.
Yeah. Azalea's Cookhouse is a family restaurant, but please don't bring your family. Part 1, Hunter, bring us in.
Azalea's Cookhouse, how can I help you?
I despise the inflection in my voice. The fakeness irked me to my core, but it was all part of the job. I took my customer service seriously. I've been a waiter for longer than I'm comfortable to admit, and although the job isn't rocket science by any
Nice, I don't even have to
I
draw
believe
that
there are
arm.
skills one needs to develop to be successful. A wide smile, a cheery demeanor, an unhealthy tolerance for bullshit. If you make sure everyone's waters are filled and remember to ask about dessert before bringing back the bill, you will do well in this profession. The tricks of the trade were simple, but you'd be surprised how many college kids wandered into the industry with zero regard for service. It was an epidemic, as far as I was concerned. Pretty faces were always welcome, but seldom did they stay. It wasn't like this was my dream job either. I used to have real ambitions too. Played in a rock band, I had a marriage. Those things, well, I wish they were as simple. When everything went up in flames, it all started to slip away. The restaurant industry was always there. And to them, I was valuable. A place like Azalea's was a great gig. They demanded a pristine level of service, or your ass was on the curb. But for what you got paid compared to other places, I felt the trade-off was worth it.
Hello, I'd like to make a reservation for Friday evening.
I recognized the silky voice.
Some knuckle action
It
in
was a proof
there.
of warm friendship mixed with passionate lover. It was elegant. No. I think that needs to be the voice.
Well, I recognize the second voice right away. Should it be like, hello? I'd like to make a reservation for Friday evening.
Yes, there you go. Okay. It was elegant enough to keep the beat. It was Paulina. I didn't take my neighbor for the type to dine at this kind of establishment. And while it was only her voice, she could have been 100 miles away. It was enough to send me down to an anxious tailspin.
Isn't he married?
No, he had a marriage.
Oh, he had a marriage, okay.
And a rock band. Like, he lost out on that stuff, but this restaurant gives the one thing that's been dependable for it. Yeah.
Hello?
Sorry, ma'am. That's not a problem. And for how many?
4, please.
In less than a minute, it was confirmed.
Oh my god.
She was scheduled for tomorrow at 7 p.m.
This is the stuff that I was saying. Okay, go ahead. Sorry.
do it in the first place. Just read the story ahead and say it's a premonition.
No,
but then the further audacity to call it out.
No, what is it?
when
What
you
is
get
it?
to
What is the next line though?
Her voice had reduced me to a teenager again.
Was my chair really that squeaky? Fuck.
Walking her dog, occupied my mind for the rest of the evening.
Wow. Holy shit. Oh, wow. That is powerful. Dude, I am scary at times.
I bet I could get psychic pebbles to do this podcast with me.
Dude, don't even plant that seed in people's minds because they will want me out immediately. They will want me off of the show immediately.
Who's another YouTube, and really any of the only guys would probably do it.
Yes.
Yeah. Who's another animator that I could, like, sell you for? I could sell you cheap, too.
My stock is very low, Isaiah. You need to, this meme is going to start a literal riot for change. You're going to see another change.
You say that, but every time someone, like, talks about me anywhere online, they're always like, where's Hunter? Why isn't this post about Hunter? I'd rather be talking about Hunter, or whatever.
Well, then
I saw
why don't
one
we
that was
drop
brutal
it,
the
dude?
other... Look, I saw one that was brutal the other day. There was,
Just right
a
at the edge of
guy
there.
that someone had posted, I subreddit Instagram somewhere. It was like, these two are some of the best personalities on YouTube. And then someone commented as like, well, one of them's a YouTube personality. The other one's a guy who got lucky with an iceberg trend. And I was like, ow! Like, that was rough.
Listen, man, I'm glad. You know what? I love that we sat here, the two men aboard the Titanic, taking out our tiny violins and playing. Because I see a lot of hurtful stuff too that makes me fucking borderline cry.
Really?
Yeah, all the time. All right.
What kind of stuff?
I don't want to go into it because it's only gonna.
There's no more rail.
It only gives them fuel, Isaiah. Don't you understand?
Right.
So I just
Nice, one more frame.
There's one guy, so there's one dude, he has like, I'm not gonna say his name, because I don't need people to know, but he has like 8 followers on Twitter. Complete nobody, right?
Yeah.
But every time I post a video announcement, after a couple hours, he will quote tweet the tweet I made announcing it, and say either good video or bad video. And he never gives any further explanation.
That's haunting.
He never says why.
It's weird how much it slows down.
But my algorithm, I think because I've looked at his page, it always shows me what his reaction is. And every time I post a video, he'll just be like, bad video. And I'll be like, ugh, why?
Damn it.
Explain. Like, yeah.
Yeah, it's like it's a 17-year-old German kid. You're just like, your entire existence was wrapped up.
Alright,
in this kid.
I'm gonna go get some food, because I'm hungo.
But,
So, goodbye. Good night.